help this person. If someone walks up to me, all the time we're thinking, how can we help this person become Krishna conscious? Actually, all the time we're meditating like this, we're thinking about Krishna. Yeah, isn't it? So that's why this is so important, because we can do all these things and being completely absorbed in ourselves and in our own miseries. Why are the devotees treating me like this? Why are there all this politics? Why is this going on like this? But, nothing happens without the mercy of the Lord. That means whatever it is, it's for our own benefit. And it's that's a meditation we should always have. And it can be difficult at times, but we should always understand, as long as we are engaging our minds in this, I'm suffering all these miseries, that means, okay, we have to understand, okay, we're still on the material platform. Because if we were not on the material platform, we would not be worried, we would just be completely in ecstasy, Joy, I'm with the devotees, Hari Bol! How can I help everyone giving Krishna consciousness? Jai, Srila Prabhupada is sitting on the Vyasa Shishigorita is on the altar. Jai, we'll be in complete ecstasy all the time. So if we're not, that means we're still on the material platform. But there's also some, how can you say, we can always think when we are engaged in this, we always think, okay, mantras, prashas, to kondiya, shitoshna, sukadurada, agama, parimanityas, tangs, tiksasva, means it comes and goes like summer and winter seasons. And it's only from sense perception. It's because we understand things from point of the senses. So this happiness and distress coming and going, it's only because we understand it on the sensual platform, through the senses. So, okay, I'm suffering because I'm still on the material platform. I know what to do to get off it. I'm in this process right now, so just stay in. Just stay in. I had another point, just thinking about another point before. Maybe it was not important, yeah?
This is about pumping, making pressure. I read a very, very nice statement by Vaisheshika Prabhu the other day about book distribution. And he was talking about how one of his main meditations when he was on the street was to give everyone a good experience, even the ones who doesn't take a book. So sometimes people, they stand there, they just look at the book, hear what he has to say for 30 seconds, and then they go away, and then no, I'm not interested. And then he just tells them, thank you so much for taking your valuable time to stop and listen to what we had to say. I hope you had a wonderful day, and then maybe next time you can take the book. And he has this experience so many times that people, they come back 5 minutes after picking the book.
They had a nice experience, they liked it.
And in the same way, when we are representing the movement, if we are walking around and we're trying to give everyone a good impression and try to give a little extra endeavor, it might not pay off initially if we just walk around, hey, take a book, give a donation, and do the fast thing. But if we do this, then long term it will be much better because people, they will get impressed time and time again.
We have to give people a very nice impression. I also remember, I saw your finger, I just mentioned this point, and I remember when I was working in the airport, in the beginning, I started coming in the temple, and I was a little shy, and I was a little, tried to hide it, and I was reading, Prabhupada's books. What are you reading? Oh, this is, some very nice books that some readers. And, people, they were looking at me, and when I came through security check, they were sort of asking me, strange, what is this you're doing? And I was like, yeah, this is called Vaishnavism, and it's a part of Hinduism. I was some sort of trying to explain something without really saying what it was, having this attitude, are you part of some sect or something? What is going on, But then, after some time, it became too frustrating, so I just, shaved up and had a cigarette. And then when I walked on there, what is that? Well, that's a cigarette. Oh, it's yeah, that's because I'm a Hare Krishna. And I was when you smile, because that's, people, they can see your mood. So it's also, if you're on the street and you're like, oh, I hate being here, I wish I could be in the warm temple and just sit and have nice prasad and just, talk to the nice devotees. I hate all this place, everyone, they can feel subtle energies also, so they can know this person, he does not like me. So the first important thing about a person, if you want to help him, you have to like him. If you don't like him, why should he like you? Isn't it? Martin?
Yeah, it was just very nice that Kumukura, he met one girl the other day, and she had been in the temple to a school program, and then she bought a book. And because sometimes here there are so many who comes by, and have, many they also, 10 of them or 15, 20, they buy a small book. They don't give so big donation, and there is no time like to you, maybe a few Christians. But then when they meet a book distributor afterwards, then it's like there has been this little bit like on a Sunday feast, but so it's very nice, this combination.
Exactly. That's why it's so wonderful. It's a combined effort, isn't it? Things are done in the temple. You have school programs, and Rangi Goprabhu, he's sitting here every evening chanting his rounds. Someone come in, he greets them, offer them some prasadam. You're out there in the street giving books. We try to give prasadam. Indra, he's in the kitchen, Sunday feasting, engage someone, Then you have some Indian coming in, pious Indian coming in, Yes, I would like to serve Krishna. And then he's up there in the kitchen, washing plates and everything, and Indra's talking a little bit to him. Okay, and maybe when he leaves, he comes back, and next time he goes, oh, it was a nice, devotee here, and he likes us. And then next time maybe he brings home a Japa and a book, and he's chanting. Sometimes it's such a small thing that actually changes people's consciousness towards Krishna consciousness. And if we give people a bad impression, of course it's going to be more difficult for them to change. Why should they change their consciousness? They're used to being cheated out there, Everyone is cheating everyone. So if they come and have a very bad impression, why should they put any faith in us? Isn't it? Mm. So also I remember now, this is a point I wanted to make before actually. It's a story, and my spiritual master often tells us, Prabhupada, he also told it, and it's a very nice story. It's about this king who had a minister, and this minister, he was a very nice devotee. He was always chanting the glories of Krishna, and he was always, whatever happened, he was also, okay, whatever Krishna does, that's all right. That was his mood. That's the mood we should have also. Whatever Krishna does, that's all right. So this minister, he was the favorite minister of the king also. But then one day when the king was out hunting, he accidentally, I don't know actually if he shot his own finger off, or he cut his finger off somehow or another, he lost a finger. And this great king, oh my God, I lost a finger, how terrible. Look at my body, my finger is gone. And he went in, and everyone was like a little aggrieved, and then he showed it to the minister, look, my finger, And then this minister, he just smiled and said, whatever Krishna does, that's all right. It's okay. It was like, this is mood. And this, this king, doesn't he know I lost a finger? How can he be my minister? And he's into the dungeons with him, so he put him in jail in the dungeons immediately. And he stayed down there, the minister, and the king, he sort of forgot a little bit about his finger, and he went out hunting again. And when he was out hunting, he was caught up by some Kali worshippers. And these Kali worshippers, they wanted, wow, we have a king, we sacrifice him, so they bathed him and made him nice. They wanted to make a nice offering for Kali, and they put him on the altar, and just when the priest, he was with his knife, and he was about to cut off the head or stab the king, and then he saw, but look at this, he's missing a finger, we cannot not offer him for Kali, he's not perfect, we cannot offer him for Kali. So you can go. And he was running back, and while he was running back, the king, I was thinking, my goodness, what my minister, he said, it was true, whatever Krishna does is all right, but look, if I had not lost my finger, then I would have been killed. So he ran into the dungeons and down the stairs, and he opened the door, and inside the dungeon, the minister, he was sitting with his japa, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. And the king said, I'm so sorry, my dear minister, I'm so sorry I put you in the dungeons. And what you told me was right. I was out and I was caught by this Kali worshipper, and I did not want to offer me because I lost a finger. So this was definitely Christmas mercy. I'm so sorry I put you into all these miseries. And then, he stopped chanting for just a second. The minister said, oh, that's all right. Whatever Krishna does, that's all right. Because normally when you go on hunting expeditions, I join you and I have all my fingers. So you see, that's even in India, he understood whatever happened, and the same thing for us, whatever happens to us in our service, devotional service, it's simply because we understand still things through our senses, and in our mind we are on the material platform. That means we see it as suffering and as you know, but it's simply just for our benefit. If we really understand that, everything will simply just be a blessing. So this is purification just going on, and it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful, and it is so difficult to see. And that's why we so much need the devotees, because the devotees, first of all, one quality of our devotees that I personally appreciate very, 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 very much is that they are so forgiving. So that means almost no matter what you do, if you apologize and say, I'm so sorry, they will forgive you. That's very nice. Another thing is, every one of the devotees, they're studying Srila Prabhupada's books so much. That means also, they will know if you are, cool it down a little bit, this is maybe not exactly Krishna consciousness, what is going on now. That means it might be hard on our false ego, but it's definitely good for our Krishna consciousness. Definitely good for our Krishna consciousness. So that's the whole point of this class is that we have to follow in the footsteps of Lord Brahma by following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, by following the footsteps of our spiritual master, and that way we can become purified if we stay in the association of the devotees, if we always study Srila Prabhupada's books. Because that's the only way, you see, we can understand, maybe even though it's theoretically, that's the only way we can understand that everything is actually Krishna's mercy. Otherwise the intelligence gets weak, disappears. That's why it's so important we are reading. I mean, you can stay in Krishna consciousness for quite some time out of sentiment, but eventually you will have to give in. So if you don't have this strong intelligence preaching to you all the time, seeing things clearly, then we simply surrender to the mind. So let's surrender to Srila Prabhupada by surrendering to the intelligence trained by Prabhupada.
No, it is just so beautiful how Krishna is giving us these different spiritual masters after Prabhupada left.
Definitely.
Like there is one just for us, and when he's happy and like if we just remember these moments, because sometimes we are not so many or somebody treats us this way or that way, but just remember how simple it is that our spiritual master is giving us some instructions, and we are so sure that
how merciful they are, accepting us as their disciples.
Right?
Yeah, and how merciful they are accepting us as their disciples. There's actually on this point also, I had just a class this morning from my spiritual master. He says that this thing, Prabhupada, he always said, double it. Actually, that's Radharani, whenever she looks at Krishna, her love for him and desire for him, doubles. So she was actually the first, one who invented this principle, and Prabhupada is following in that principle. He says double it. So if they then go out and see, okay, all Prabhupada's direct disciples, they had to double it. And then you come to the disciples of the disciples, if they had to double it also, so we have to, how do you say that in English? Quadruple, or how do you say that? So you see, we have to act, that's what we have to do,
It's a double.
You have to do 4 times as much as Srila Prabhupada.
But I think it's also very much about the quality, because you can see that certain book distributors, of course, some they increase a lot, but there are also some, like who comes to a level, and then they do like their 20, 40, 80, like that, and that they do like I heard this Brico Party Prabhu said that he would like to go out for 50 years. Yeah. I mean, imagine to go out for 50 years and the quality of these books, so they may not increase like being 200, it may be the 100, but if he does it for 50 years.
Yeah.
And then this quality that the impression people get on such a pure devotee, they will take it home and,
Absolutely. That's also the point, isn't it, that by training the intelligence we can come to the mode of goodness that needs to be maintained, that you keep on going no matter what. We don't listen to the mind, we just, okay, we know this is suffering, but tomorrow I will not suffer so much, and then, maybe I will suffer again the day after tomorrow. So they just keep on going, and by understanding, by purification, at one point, they're just, start getting the taste for this, and then it's just like all the time. I mean, the more the dirt is cleansed out of our hearts, the more clear we see things. The more clear we can see Krishna, and to the point where at the final end we can sit face to face with Krishna. That's quite amazing. If you just think about how big is Brahma in this universe, how many Brahma there is, how big is Krishna? And Krishna, he is actually interested in what is going on with us personally. He's personally taking care of our needs, both materially and spiritually. Wow. That's a little special. So, yeah.
Now you should not become proud.
No. Thank you, Malati. That's exactly why we should be with the devotees. So, yeah. Krishna says, Ye yatham patyante tangstat haide vajamyaham nama varnam vartante manushya partha sarvasa. As you surrender unto me, I will reward you accordingly. And then everyone is following my path in all respects. So we have to surrender unto Krishna through following all these principles that we discussed. Our spiritual master. And then also we have to understand that everything is actually Krishna, it's Krishna's mercy. That's, everyone is following these paths, and then, but they may be suffering, and because he's the source of all material worlds also. So, but if we want to come out of it, we have to surrender to Krishna. We don't have to, be so obstinate. How is it? Yeah. Clean out the envy of our heart. Krishna is God, we are not. And it's quite nice if we can realize we're Krishna's servant. No, nothing more nice, actually. So I think I'll stop here. If there's any more points, then this is the last chance. Thank you very much for tolerating. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaura Premanande. Det er også bare sådan en vigtig pointe, altså det her med at give Krishna-bevidsthed om os, altså det er jo en indikator for, at hvis vi ikke er optaget af det, så er det jo en god indikator for, hvad Krishna-bevidsthed er. Også i forhold til med åndelig mester, det er noget, som jeg tænker meget over for tiden. Altså, vi er jo kun så Krishna-bevidst, og så rene, som vi er i forhold til, hvor overgivet vi er til vores åndelig mester. I det øjeblik, du ved, at man begynder at tro, at man er mere end sin åndelig mester.
Ja, fordi at når den åndelige lærermester ignorerer en, når man forstår det, så bliver man bare ignoreret. Altså hvis man ikke forstår det, altså, at der så er et uundgåeligt i det. Et eller andet ulegalt. Altså,
men faktisk, altså også når vi nu tager den her, at Srila Prabhupada han siger, at Krishna skal ikke findes i buskene, i Vrindavan's buske, det skal findes i en åndelig mesters instruktioner. Altså okay, hvis man så er fuldstændig fornægtet som åndelig mester, så kan man jo bare så langt fra for at finde Krishna, som man overhovedet kan være. Uanset hvor Krishna-løs man som man tror man er. Det er jo egentlig lige meget, hvad vi tror vi er. Er det ikke?
Jo, faktisk. Netop fordi det er et åndeligt mønster, det kan man få.
Ja.
Så dejligt, det kan man have fået en tjeneste, ikke? Fordi altså nogle gange ikke, så går det op, og nogle gange går det over og over.
Det går op og ned hele tiden.
Hvad?
Det går op og ned hele tiden, ikke? Men det er også bare derfor, det er så vigtigt. De hengivne, der bare er sammen der. Så de regulerer tingene, de kan forklare tingene for en. Og de kan tolerere en på mange måder i hvert fald.
Det var så morsomt, at jeg havde flere til at takke Swami. Der var nogen, der sagde til ham, at man skulle tænke dårligt, ikke? Og snakke dårligt om nogen, ikke? Så sagde jeg til takke Swami, no, they're just see them as your pastime, ikke? Og så sagde han, at as a leader, some people like you, some few like you, some few don't like you. Altså, det var bare det, ligesom at se lige, det var så sødt måde, at han ligesom den der tolerance, man må have, når man er leder.
Ja.
Han sagde ligesom, at few, altså tænk engang, at jeg blev takket så meget, men
kæmpe leder, ikke? Det er det største.
Men når han siger ligesom, at few may like you, a few may not like you, what to do?
Yeah, but it's like, it's a nice practice.
Det er det der, man ikke selv ikke bliver optaget af det der negative ting.
Ja, det er det. Og det kan jeg også se, også specielt også, altså jo mindre tid man har til at læse. Det bliver kritisk i det øjeblik, at man begynder at springe en dag over med at læse, eller 2, fordi man lige skal gøre et andet, så siger man i hænder timer. Altså, det bliver bare gradvist tungere og tungere.
Så jeg har et møde nu, så jeg fik sådan nogle sædler, med nogle demonstrationer, der kommer til at være, som det kunne være op at have